Have you ever dated a Muslim or Hindu? What obstacles have you faced? Oh, it's a great question. All right, so let me try to answer that to the best of my abilities here. So, over the years, I have had interactions with some lovely, gorgeous women who were from the Muslim and Hindu faith. One woman I can think of in particular, she was Hindu, very liberal. Both of these women were very Hindu because, as a Christian at the time, they were interested in me. If not, then they would either try to convert me, which would have probably ended up in a very interesting stalemate. But the the liberal side of things would be that they were more open to Christianity, and at the time, I was trying to, maybe date them to save them, which is an awful way to live, just horrendous. I believe in the dating world that, hey, if you see someone maybe you're interested in, you genuinely try to bring them to church, you connect with them, but you don't date them. You're unequally yoked is not good from the get-go. So I'll start from that as the nucleus, right? Have you ever dated a Muslim or Hindu as a Christian, and what are the obstacles? So I'd say the faith is always going to be the number one thing, like we talked about with the thing that's all consuming in your life. If it's an addiction, like we've talked about throughout the night tonight, then that addiction is going to cause you to always fixate on that next thing that you need. So I'm dealing with a few guys who are struggling with drugs and drinking and a lot of issues in their lives on a molecular level as well. And of course, when it comes to sex and other types of addictions, you're going to have that you're going to have that. But with that being said, as you are dealing with that next hit or that next fix or that next alcohol session, you're going to move heaven and earth to get that thing, depending on how addicted you are. So if you're mildly addicted, you're going to plan your week around it. If you're heavily addicted, then you are going to do everything in your realm, your wheelhouse, to get that next hit. And so, for myself as a Christian, when I was a baby Christian or when I was a maturing Christian, I 30 to 40% of my conversations would end up in Christianity. And now about 60 to 70 or 80% end up in Christianity and thought processes and worldview. So if I was to date a Hindu or Muslim woman, well, it would end up in around 50 to 60 or 70% of conversation, just life in general. And then you have the nuances in how you eat, how you celebrate things, where you go, what you do. And when you're dating someone and you want to move in that direction of being married to them, having kids, you have to think of all the hurt and turmoil that your wedding will cause, that living together will cause. What will you do on Sunday morning when they don't want to go to church with you, and then they want to go to their temple, or they want to go to the mosque or whatever it might be. It is just setting yourself up for a ton of failure. And then when you add kids into the mix, well, then you're going to have them learning multiple worldviews. There's going to be a tension. They have to choose mommy or daddy. And so, just from that baseline, I would say it's just horrible written all over it. I would even say that, with people who are of, completely different faiths in general, like you're setting yourself up for failure. If you really do believe in something, I think you should believe in that wholeheartedly if it's going to affect your marriage and your life. And I really do think people should just be wrestling with these things at a young age, so that when you get older, you don't get caught off guard if one of the two of you, want to change your belief systems or thought processes. So yeah, I've just seen a lot of people do that over the years, and I'm happy if people who are non-Christian become Christian once they're married and all that. But it is very, very difficult, and I've seen a lot of families get destroyed, a lot of tears, a lot of hurt kids. So anyway, hopefully Babu, that helps out.